The armed forces are instrumental at ensuring the safety and security of any nation. They defend and sustain the corporate entity from external and internal incursions and aggressions. In the course of protecting and combating terrorism and other threats to national security, many have lost their lives, while some are battling with one form of disability or the other. In Nigeria, January 15th is a day set aside to honor the nation's fallen heroes who paid the supreme price while defending the country's corporate entity from wars, insurrections, and other forms of aggressions. It is also to bring to fore the immense sacrifices of the nation's heroes, dead or living, by whose sweat and blood the nation's territorial integrity and continuity is sustained. This year, like the previous, Ogun state government joined the federal and other states in the federation to remember these great heroes and veterans who laid down their lives for the unity of the country, Nigeria. The governor of Ogun State, Prince Abeokuta, led other top government officials and dignitaries to the somber ceremony where he inspected the parade, followed by the reveille.
We also have the fire party commanded by Sergeant Mohammed Abubakar, and behind the color party is the mass band, which comprises of the band and the Nigerian Navy band.
Thereafter, a series of events and customs were carried out. One of such is the conventional wreath laying led by the governor, Prince Abeokuta. Also, in keeping with tradition, the state governor released 20 white pigeons, symbolizing peace in each of the 20 local government areas of the state. A 21-gun salute was released to honor the fallen heroes. Finally, the governor mounted the dials for the nation's salute.
No. You have to see Let me not.
The solemn event was rounded off with a march-out parade. Speaking to newsmen after the event, the governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, says the heroes have paid a supreme price for defending the nation's territorial integrity. Therefore, effort must be geared towards protecting all they left behind.
These are young men and women who went into the armed forces, knowing fully well that this assignment that they subscribed to is that which may cost them their lives. We remember them today and always. We use this opportunity to call on all of us to show an act of kindness to these patriots who paid the ultimate price in defending the territorial integrity of our country. We also want to encourage all of us to reach out to their families. Government cannot do it alone. It is not the sole responsibility of government. Let us all reach out to their children, to their mothers, to their wives, their husbands, and be kind to them. Because, but not for them, only God knows where we'll be today as a nation.
Meanwhile, Christian and Muslim Thanksgiving services were held respectively as part of the activities marking the annual Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. At the Thanksgiving service held at the Cathedral of St. Peter's Anglican Church, NTA Abeokuta, the governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, represented by his deputy, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, says the sacrifice paid by these heroes are valued, promising that the state would prioritize their welfare.
Today, we gather not just within the walls of this cathedral, but within the hearts and hands of a grateful nation to pay tribute, express gratitude, and remember the services and sacrifices made by our gallant men and women in uniform. Ogun State, like the rest of our great nation, owes an immeasurable debt to the valiant members of the armed forces who dedicate their lives to the defense of the sovereignty of our country, the preservation of her peace, and the protection of her cherished freedoms. We must acknowledge the courage and commitment of our armed forces, a force that stands as a shield against external threats and a beacon of hope for internal stability. Our soldiers, both past and present, embody the virtues of honor, bravery, and selflessness. And as we bow our heads in prayer today, let us remember those who have paid the ultimate price, their families who bear the weight of their absence, and the veterans who carry the scars of battles fought. Their sacrifices are etched into the fabric of our nation, and their memories remain a testament to the cost of freedom.
She emphasized the need to support and encourage the heroes by creating an environment that recognizes their invaluable sacrifice.
As a nation, state, community, and as individuals, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that the welfare and well-being of our military personnel, veterans, and their families are prioritized. We are duty-bound to consistently honor our commitment to them, providing not just words of gratitude, but tangible support that acknowledges their sacrifice. Hence, let us increase our efforts at supporting them in every possible way and strive to create an environment that recognizes their invaluable services and selfless sacrifice. And after their gallant service, provide platforms for their seamless integration into civilian life.
The determination of the government at ensuring that the sacrifice made by these heroes are not forgotten was also stressed.
Ogun State, just like the rest of the nation, is not oblivious of the valuable contributions of the armed forces to the overall national security and well-being of our country, Nigeria. Your unyielding defense of the nation against external threats through safeguarding of our territorial integrity, sovereignty, and security remain the source of the peace being enjoyed by the citizens today. For these invaluable commitments and sacrifices, being offered to our fatherland, we cannot but honor these heroes. As a government, we have facilitated the establishment of the Nigeria Air Force Base and a training school in the state to complement our Abeokuta Airport project. As a state as well, we are genuinely concerned about the security of lives and property of our citizens, as well as the collective unity of the nation, and we continue to offer quality support and cooperation to the federal government in terms of ensuring that the welfare of men and women of the armed forces remains a top priority. We invest in their training, equip them with the latest technologies, and provide the necessary support for their families. In this vein, we are also committed to looking into the request for a befitting edifice to serve as accommodation for the Ogun State branch of the Nigerian region. I appreciate the recent approval of the sum of 18.4 billion naira by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, to clear the backlog payment of group life assurance claims to the families of dead soldiers that has been outstanding since 2011. This will provide succor to the families of the fallen heroes and give serving personnel the confidence to carry out their duties well.
Delivering a sermon titled Fight a Good Fight, Bishop of the African Church Ilaro, Right Reverend Peter Oyero, with reference from the second book of Timothy chapter 4 verse 7, noted that the profound sacrifices made by the armed forces were for the progress and betterment of the nation. He urged the congregation to honor and support the armed forces as well as recognize their contribution towards the progress of the nation.
2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 7. I have fought a good fight, I have finished my course, and have kept the faith. Èmi ti já ìjà rere, èmi ti parí èrè ìje mi, èmi sì ti pa ìgbàgbọ́ mọ́. This was said by Paul, an apostle. He's a soldier of Christ who labored for Christ without looking back. He passed through many challenges, many persecution, but still he moved on. He tried all he could to fight the battle of faith. I liken the armed forces with Paul, an apostle. When a man or woman joined an armed forces, the family regarded him as a gift to the nation because he can die at any time. She can die at any time. It's only those who are privileged, have the grace, that they started well and finished well. We are remembering them for the good deed, for the good job they did.
Prayers were later offered for the nation, the families of the fallen heroes, and Ogun State, while thanksgiving was offered to God on their behalf. Consequently, a Jumat service was held at the Central Mosque, NTA Abeokuta, where the state governor, Prince Dr. Abiodun, was represented by his deputy, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele. Salako Oyedele says it's important to remember the armed forces, especially the fallen heroes, for their sacrifices at ensuring the unity of the nation.
We must never forget the selflessness and dedication exhibited by these men and women who put their lives on the line to protect us and ensure our peace and security. May Almighty Allah accept their sacrifices, overlook their shortcomings, and grant them Al-Jannah Firdaus. In Ogun State, we have a long-standing tradition of supporting and honoring our armed forces. We recognize the critical role they play in maintaining the peace and stability of our society. Our armed forces have not only defended us against external threats, but have also been instrumental in tackling internal security challenges and maintaining law and order. Their commitment to duty and their unwavering loyalty to our nation is truly commendable. We recognize the critical role that security plays in ensuring the peace and prosperity of our people. As the most industrious state in Nigeria and the most improved state in foreign direct investment, we understand that without a safe and secure environment, progress and development cannot thrive. That is why the Ogun State government makes significant and continuous efforts to enhance security measures and support our armed forces and other paramilitary agencies.
She acknowledged the pain of the families of the fallen heroes, urging every individual to renew their commitment towards the welfare of the armed forces and their families by embracing peace and unity among ourselves.
I'd also like to acknowledge the families of our armed forces personnel. They too make sacrifices every single day, enduring long periods of separation from their loved ones. We also extend our support and care to these families, recognizing the important role they play in our armed forces' ability to carry out their duties effectively. As we reflect on the sacrifices made by our armed forces, let us also renew our commitment to the ideals they fought for: unity, peace, and progress. It is our collective responsibility as citizens to ensure that their sacrifices were not in vain.
The guest lecturer, Sheikh Imam Abdul Tafiq Amolegbe, gave insight into the significance of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
Bí o bá jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bó la bá wà lẹ́nìí níjọ́ tí Ogun dé ọ̀rẹ́ tọ́ni ó lè kú ìjà ọ̀rẹ́. Àwọn sójà tó bá sojú ẹ̀ ní ọ̀rẹ́ wọn mọ̀ pé lóòótọ́ ó lè kú ìjà ọ̀rẹ́ ni. Níbo la bá fi Ìjẹ̀bú sí lẹ́nìí? Níbo la bá fi Rẹ́mọ sí? Tó bá ti kúrò ní ọ̀rẹ́, ibo ló kù tó ń bọ̀? Àwọn wọn ní ká ṣe ọ̀kan ìṣọ̀kan yẹn ló ń wọn tó fi dá kó la fi sọ pé gbogbo ọdún wọn kú sí fún wọ̀. Wọn kúkú asán torí pé conflict is inevitable in any given society. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni méjì àbí mẹ́ta bá wà nìkan ọkọ àti àwọn olùwé kò sọ fọ́kọ́ máa jà bẹ́ẹ̀ báwo la ṣe fẹ́ lọ solute ìjà yẹn. Bá a bá pè wọ́n pé ẹja parí ẹ̀ ní tébù ká parí ẹ̀ tí ò bá parí ló máa dín bóyá ẹ̀ lọ fi kíni ẹ̀ lọ fi fọ́ọ̀sì parí ẹ̀. Àwọn eléyìí wọ́n kú. Àwọn àkọ́ kì í ṣe civil war ni wọ́n bá lọ. Àwọn àkọ́ bá second world war lọ nínú àwọn sójà wa ń bí. Níjọba abẹ́ kí gbogbo àgbáyé wà níṣọ̀kan. Nàìjíríà náà produce àwọn tó ṣe kíni tí wọ́n lọ jà. Àwa nínú wọn náà tó lọ sọ́hùn tó kú sọ́hùn. Ẹ jẹ́ àsọ fún yín wọn kú lásán.
He admonished Nigerians to reflect on the message of his lecture and contribute their quota towards making the country a better place.
Oníkálukú wa lójúṣe tá a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe. Tẹ́ ẹ bá fi ojúṣe yẹn lẹ̀ yóò mẹ́hẹ̀. Ojúṣe wàkílù gẹ́gẹ́ bí wàkílù fún gbogbo aláàfáà òun ló ń ṣe yìí. Wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ fi sílẹ̀ tó bá ti fi sílẹ̀ yóò mẹ́hẹ̀. Ẹ bá wò ó ṣe ìlú ìtúsí lè dá wàhálà ìlú ìbá dáa lọ́dún sì máa dáa jù báyìí lọ. People look up to the government to do everything. I'm saying categorically that government cannot do it alone. Let us make sure that we do our own part. Let us assist government and leave the rest. So if you see nonsense in what I've just said, please erase none and use of sense.
The government is doing a lot from the federal to our state, Ogun State, Apis Dakpo, Abiodun, CON. It's really taking good care of the military retirees and even the serving one too. I'm aware what it's all about too is we will continue to ask. Recently, during our emblem launch of this year, we asked for a befitting office accommodation and he promised immediately.
To be frank and sincere, the government has been trying for the particularly the legions. As far as I'm concerned, mostly our Excellency, Dr. Dapo Abiodun, he did. There is no of our problems that has never been attempted to. He always contributed the best, and we continue. Not only the state government alone, other people, the community, the individuals should also contribute to the best of the legion. Mostly the fallen, I mean the widows. The widows are money. What with this economic, we as appeal to other or the income individuals to contribute much into the wives of the fallen heroes.
The significance of today is to remember our Army, Air Force that fought for us and let us be here today. The men and women that is active today my advice to them is to stay in there. God Almighty will be keeping them, washing them, and let them retire with peace.
I think we always should do as a people, as part of the appreciation, is to ensure that we have life insurance for them and to have welfare provisions in place for their dependents, just so that when they become infirm, they become incapacitated, or in case of death, their children and their family can continue to live in some comforts, and at least the financial pressure will be eliminated from the whole issue.
We are begging the federal and state government to help us. Even our proposal is on the table of the First Lady, that please it should help us for the project, so that we can use that one to manage ourselves and our children, so that our husband labor will not be in vain.
As it is stated in the first stanza of the national anthem, that the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. The onus rests on Nigerians home and abroad to ensure that the heroes who have worked assiduously and continue to work hard to keep the nation together in peace and tranquility are honored and celebrated by all. As we strive to ensure that the nation's flag keeps flying, we must remain patriotic in our daily dealings so that the supreme price paid by those who have laid their lives for our existence and survival do not go in vain. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.